Okay, so I'm here with some of my Discord members, and today we're going to be talking about the latest episode of The Owl House because none of us have anything better to do with our lives. That was a
Never have.
sad intro.
Never
But
have and never
it's
will.
true.
It is true. So with me today is Ash. I'm Ashi, obviously. Then we have Binky Boy over here in the corner next to me. Binky Boy, say hello.
Fine. Hello. I'm not Binky Boy.
And we have Ed. Ed, make a noise. We have Bellows, not to be confused with the character Bellows. Bellows, make a noise. Okay. We have Anime. Anime, say a word.
Help, I'm in pain.
And then we have Loser, not to be confused with us calling them a loser. Loser is actually their name. Loser, say something.
Rar.
I,
XD.
I want to be clear with that, by the way. We're not just calling this random server member Loser, like a loser. That's the name.
What's their Discord name?
Yeah, Luzer.
Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the episode, and this is going to be sort of an episode breakdown. And forgive us if we're ADHD, because I think all of us are really bad at staying on topic. So, just as a quick conversation topic to start things off, how many of us think Bellows is human, and how many of us think Bellows is a witch? Starting with Ed, what do you think after this episode?
Well, we saw the face reveal of Bellows, and his ears are visibly like I don't know, sharp, curved. They're not circular like a human's would be.
But I still feel like they're too small to be.
That's the issue that I was talking about this to somebody else, and I don't know. It's like a mixture of both. It's still got that point though.
I don't know. When I was looking at his ears, and I spent a lot of time looking at the ears, I felt like that they were like the fact that they're slightly jagged is meant to throw us off. Because they're way too small. Like if you look at Bellows' ears and Luz's ears, they're the exact same size. Was there anyone else have anything they want to add to that about Bellows' ears?
Yeah, but like
Further-
you said, it's small.
What about you, Bellows? Anything you want to add about the character Bellows' ears?
Well, furthermore, I Bellows will talk about character Bellows. So he also doesn't use magic normally, like witches do.
No vial sack.
Right. And we've seen that his staff is mechanical. It's full of wires. It operates like an electronic.
As the Golden Guard said, artificial magic.
Right.
I think is what he called it. Yeah, so my thought process on this, I don't know, anyone who wants to chime in can chime in, but I believe the slight point to his ears are either a misdirection or a side effect from, eating Palisman juice for so long. Palisman Mountain Dew. Because, we've seen that Bellows can barely hold his physical form. Something else that someone pointed out to me, now I don't know if this is true, I'd have to double check this. Apparently we only see one of Bellows' ears. Someone said this to me, is that true?
I possibly saw both of them.
I can't actually remember now that someone said this in the server to me. They're like, we actually only see of one of Bellows' ears. And I was like, is that true? Is that a
Somebody watched the entire episode again.
Well, we only see Bellows in the first 30 seconds of the episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
first minute or two.
Let me go back and look at the first 30 seconds real quick, and I'll see
When
if
we
we see.
first see him, it only shows one ear, which could just be like he's looking at an angle. So I guess.
No,
that's
they
why
are
we
right. They are right. Yeah, it only shows
Oh,
one
really?
of his ears. Yep. One ear is pointed with a chip in it. The other ear is still
Yeah.
completely covered by his hair the whole time.
Oh yeah, you were
And
right.
and the side that has the ear, by the way, is also the side of his face that has the corrupted green on it.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that this was literally meant to throw us off from the Bellows' human thing by Dana. And the pointed ear could be a side effect of the corruption, or it actually could have been that Bellows modified his ear himself. That's actually not unheard of. People do get their ears pointed even here in, real life.
Yeah.
That's an actual operation. So that very well, because they didn't, that server member whose name I can't remember, but I will, thank you for bringing that to my attention. That actually may be the case. The ear that we see is on the side with the green corruption on it. That weird green look to it, So that ear could just be modified to look like a slightly point. That way people will think Belos, if his mask ever comes off, that he is from the Boiling Isles. Or that could be the full hunter. Obviously, that's also a possibility. Because Belos wants Hunter to think that they're related.
Yeah. I'm looking at photos from the episode, and yeah, we only see one ear from what I'm seeing.
And it's on the side with the corrupted green gunk in the holes.
Yeah.
Which is gross. Belos is gross. But that's also, there's the... Let's talk about the obvious thing, the thing I made a video on earlier today. The fact that there's literally a book with the ingredients on how to make a hunter. Loser would want that book. She's really into him.
Shh, no. No. Never.
Like, what do you guys think about the book to literally manufacture your own hunter?
It's a bit.
Dude, DIY Hunter's alive. I want one now.
it's instead of build a bear, it's build a hunter. Like,
I was just about to say that. Darn you.
like it's like, oh boy, build a husbando. Yeah. So in the book, it says apparently to make a hunter, all you need is a Galderstone. You need the lungs of some rock beast. You need palisman wood. And you need the scales of a no, it's the scale, the Silky Damas from the first episode of season 2, and then you need the bone of the original person that you're cloning or copying. So in this case, we would need a bone of Belos. And then there's some obligatory stuff on the other page that kind of looks like a drop of Titan's blood, and then a way to make him age up faster. In other words, Hunter's a test tube baby. Test tube baby.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
That's interesting.
again, I already obviously have a clear idea what I think Hunter is being used for. I think he's another body for Belos. Does anyone else have any ideas what they think Hunter's being used for besides that? Ed, you have any opinions?
I have an opinion, but it's not age appropriate.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Sir, oh no.
Yeah, none of that here. Not on my good Christian YouTube stream. Not on my good Christian YouTube stream. None of that. No, I think that Hunter is a body for Belos. He has just enough of Belos' DNA, and the reason I think Hunter has really big pointed ears and Belos doesn't is probably because while making Hunter, there was some blood put in from maybe a random witch from the Boiling Isles mixed in with it.
Yeah, to be more witch-like.
Well, that way, yeah, he's not completely human.
Yeah.
Because why would Belos want another human body that's just eventually going to give out? Like, that wouldn't make any sense. Now, we have no idea who that witch is, obviously. I have a couple of guesses. It could be someone that Belos loved who died, or it could even be Lilith's blood, for that matter. I mean, she was the Coven leader. And was, like, considered one of the most powerful witches in the Boiling Isles for a while. But, I mean,
They also take care of Hunter, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's a guess. I mean, that could have been whose blood Belos used. I mean, there's a lot of, like, debating options. So, how do we feel about the fact that Amity fights like a waterbender?
Huh.
Amazing.
I wonder why.
You know,
Almost like they have the same BA.
yeah, every time you say that, I always forget that Amity has Katara's voice actor.
Yeah.
Oh,
I-
yeah, they do.
Oh, we're so good. We're so good at this.
Yeah.
Forgot.
we are good at knowing about the Owl House. Yeah. Did you guys enjoy that fight scene though? I thought that's honestly one of the best fight scenes we've gotten. I think that is the best fight scene we've gotten in season 2.
I
The
think so,
animation
too.
was so clean.
And the
I
music.
think almost every animation with like the Golden Guard fighting is like just amazing. I don't know.
Very
They give that-
fluid.
Is it because you're a
Reminds
Golden
me of
Guard
Spencer
simp loser?
One.
No, no,
Nothing to do with that at all, right?
no. I just enjoy a good animation. Yeah, totally.
Well, I do think that like I do think the fight between the Golden Guard was really cool, and I love the fact that they were able to reference Avatar: The Last Airbender. Did anyone appreciate the Dragon Ball Z references that were all in the beginning of this episode?
I did.
Funny.
Like Ida literally took the Super Saiyan 1 power up pose, like clenched her fist and screamed.
Yeah.
That was great. And also, Dana kind of showed her age a bit, like, through Ida. Like, she said she remembered watching the first Dragon Ball Z movie in theaters, like, 30 years ago.
It's like, wow, I haven't seen this movie in 30 years.
No, she literally said, I watched that movie in theaters 30 years ago. That was a bit of fourth wall break right there. I've watched this episode so many times at this point now, guys. I think I've seen it like 12 times.
I believe that.
Listen, my job is to obsess over children's cartoons and media, okay? This is what I do. Your job is to make sure I stay on topic. And I guess my job is now to make sure whatever Ed was thinking about doesn't come to fruition.
Don't worry, it won't.
Okay, good.
It's too hurt to even talk.
But yeah, so what other topics should we cover? Do we want to talk about anything else involving the episode? I mean, the animation, the fight scene was great. Do we like how slow the Golden Guard is developing as a character in terms of like turning good? Like, I'm glad he didn't instantly turn good. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, it's realistic. Because think about it. Like, he still considers Belos as a father figure, and Belos is clearly manipulating Hunter. So I mean, it wouldn't make sense for him to just completely, like, just turn around, side with the owl gang, because even though he's on friendly-ish terms with Luz, he still has a position of power that he wants to keep.
Yeah, obviously. And obviously he's still loyal to Belos. I mean, Belos did raise him. I made a comment that in my video today that maybe Hunter actually never grew up, that his memories are artificially implanted by Belos because it's obvious that he is a homunculus, but in their universe they don't call them a homunculus, they call them what was the word used in the book?
Grimwalker.
A Grimwalker. That's what Hunter basically is. But no, I do like how slowly Hunter is developing, because it really feels like Zuko. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this feels a lot like Zuko. Like, in terms of like how long it took Zuko to turn good. Like, Zuko, you know, how he sort of helped Aang at some points, but then, you know, realized that he wanted to please his father again. Belos and Hunter have a very Zuko Firelord Ozai-esque relationship. And I like that. Also, the connection fight between Hunter and Amity really kind of reminded me of the fight between Zuko and Katara. Right after Katara was going to heal Zuko's scar, you know?
Yeah.
Before Aang got shot in with the lightning bolt in the back. Yeah, that was a lot of reminiscence right there. But yeah, speaking of characters developing, does anyone think Amity's personality has changed too fast? I know this is a bit of a controversial topic.
Well, they're running out of time to explain or define the relationship, so I just felt kind of awkward to hear Amity say, "She's my girlfriend," so many times in the episode. It just felt a little bit out of place.
Like, it almost felt forced at this point.
Yeah, she went from, like,
Yeah.
you know, not so confident or, like, a little bit shy to being, you know, this complete 180 turn of a character this episode.
It felt like even the show writers itself took a pot shot at how fast Amity has, like, changed. Because I think it was Gus. Yeah, it was Gus.
It was Gus, yeah.
Gus says that, like, it seems like only a few months ago you were trying to have Luce killed.
It was King who said that, and then Gus like confirmed it.
No, it was Willow.
Yeah.
It was Gus who said it, and I think it was Willow who confirmed it.
No.
No,
Gus
it was not.
confirmed it.
Oh, okay.
That's confirmed it.
But yeah, that was like that is true. Amity has gone through a dramatic change, and we really didn't get to see Amity's change happen on screen. That's kind of like I think if Dana had I want to say it was because of the time constraint, but you would have think that back in season 1 before the Owl House was cut short, we would have got to see a bit more, because when I went back and thought about this, I noticed that if you take every episode that Amity appears in, right, from the first episode she appears in when they first go to Hexside to the episode where I think the next episode she appears in is the convention episode, right?
Yeah.
Then you take about the little bit of time that her and Luce talked to each other in the convention episode, she was still more obsessed with the Emperor's Coven and still somewhat looking down on Luce. Then you take the events of the library, where she left not knowing how to feel about Luce. And the only connection they really had was the fact that they both liked the Azora books. Then you jump into the Elements, and it's like they're buddies on speaking terms. I feel like there should have been something in between Into the Elements. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Well,
it
let's
does
just
seem,
say,
if you look at that.
that episode existed. What would you want from it?
Well, the thing I need, I guess, because I love Lumity as a couple, and I'm glad it's canon, I need to see what Luce did to convince Amity to give up on her dream of, her parents' dream of being in the Emperor's Coven, and I need to see what was I need a defining moment for Amity to have fallen completely for Luce. You know? And to make her give up her dream of being in the Emperor's Coven. I kind of would have liked to have seen that. You guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it was just people say oh, sometimes you can change your opinions when you like someone or some stuff. Maybe that's what happened. I'm guessing that's what I assume.
Well, I mean, I am willing to I do know that when you're younger, love moves a lot faster, and I could chalk it up to that. I don't know. I've always felt like there was a gap missing in Amity's character personality change, because from the serious character that we got to see at the beginning of the show to her biggest fear was that Luce would reject her in Grom, to getting to see, now she's been chalked up to either gay panic or obsessively worrying about Luce. Those seem to be the only two character traits that Amity has at this point. Amity seems to be at her best when she's not around Luce, because that seems to be the time that she has more personality. Look for example, what was the episode that came right after Grom? The one where they played Grudgeby? Yeah. Look at her and Wing It Like Witches. Did Amity have any personality in that?
She kinda did at the beginning when she told off Basha.
But then when she got around Luce, she just sort of...
Yeah, she devolved from there.
And then in this episode, she was more obsessed with, in season 2, it just feels like Amity is literally just, I don't know, been a sort of self-serving device for Luce.
Right.
Which I don't like that. I feel like Amity should be more her own character. I like the ship and I like them together. I just don't want Amity's existence to be entirely the ship, you know?
Makes sense.
I don't know, but other than that, the fight scenes in the episode were great. It's cool to see Ida back on the battlefield and not, in a side role doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Ida doing things again. King's power has seemed virtually useless so far.
The only time it was used was when they were going to use echolocation to find Eclipse Lake. And then Hunter had his mental breakdown.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, the
echolocation
echolocation didn't work.
Yeah, it just didn't even work.
It didn't?
No, he literally said,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
it's more used as a comedic crutch at the moment.
And then, when he used it on Hunter, his palisman absorbed the attack. Like it almost seems like the power doesn't do damage. I don't know, like, but yet it was able to be blocked by Hunter's Palisman. But yet in the previous episode, it destroyed a rock, like a
Because
big
of
rock.
rain.
So I'm not really sure if like it's that King isn't harnessing it well, or if the power scaling for that power is really confusing at this point. But I don't know, guys. Like I thought the episode was great. Actually, I say this about a lot of the episodes in season 2, but this is honestly probably one of my favorite episodes so far.
It's
It's
the one I was looking most forward to.
I'm not sure if it's better than Knock Knock Knocking on Hootie's Door, but it was definitely a really strong episode. So, does anybody have anything else to add about the episode that they want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Not really.
Does anybody have any crack theories they want to talk about? Like, I don't know, just anything they just want to spit out that may or may not happen, that's probably impossible, but if it did happen, you'd want to see it and you want to just say, I called it. Does anyone have anything like that?
I do.
Oh.
So, like, when you were talking about before, when you said how Bellows may have did surgery to make his other ear look like the people on the bowling alleys, how their ears are. I'm thinking there may have been a way, and this is just, like I said, we just said a crack theory, but if Bellows, when he first came to the human realm all those years ago, he may have still had his human ears, but then he was probably worried, like, oh, if these people in the bowling alley see me as who I am, because they don't know that much about humans, he probably did surgery on himself to make it look like, oh, I'm one of you, then to go deeper into the bowling alleys to take control of how he became the Emperor today.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, when you think about, like, what Ida's mother said about Philip, that there was a human in the Boiling Isles and he suddenly disappeared. I kind of want to bring up something that, like, Bellows talked about last night. The Bellows, the person in this Discord. He talked about how Bellows, the character, how his memories could be corrupted from, we talked about, like, from either reincarnating into a different body or from drinking too much of the Palisman. Like, it could have actually messed up his memory. Like Bellows may not even completely remember that he was Philip at this point.
I mean, if it has physical ailments, who's to say that it can't have mental ones?
Yeah, we already see
ones.
we already see the physical effects of prolonging his body.
He's losing his vision and all that.
Well, that and there was a point where he literally turned into a goo monster deer.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a pretty big physical effect. I'm pretty sure that was in Hunting Palismans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big physical element. There's also a crack theory that we talked about a bit last night, that maybe Bellows isn't a villain. Now, Ed, you weren't here for this.
Nope.
But we said that what if the Titan is the main villain of the Owl House? And
A Titan we presumed to be dead this entire time.
Yeah, the one that Bellows always says is speaking to him. Because, like, the final bosses, that would be me and Joe, always assumed that Bellows was using, like, a false religion to control the people of the Boiling Isles, using the Titan. But what if the Titan is actually sort of mixed in and manipulating Bellows? Like, what would you guys think of that? Like, if the Titan was the main villain?
That would be interesting.
There's also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, between the line that Bellows says to Hunter when he's describing the human world, the blue skies and the lush green trees, it also mirrors the line that Philip says when he's describing Eclipse Lake in the book flashback from the Echo Mouse. He says the blue skies and the lush green trees. Do you guys think it's a coincidence that he literally said the exact same phrase? Of course, Philip was describing Eclipse Lake, but Bellows was describing his memory of the human world.
Could possibly be a result, if this is true, it could be a result of, like, his messed up memory.
That's what I was thinking too. Also, it
Yeah.
seems too much of a coincidence for them to have that and then to transition almost 30 seconds later into the Philip flashback of the episode.
Yeah.
Like, that feels like they want us to put that connection in. Also, if you look at the pieces of what it takes to make a hunter, a Grimwalker, they're all pieces that either A, have related to Bellows, or B, have related to Philip. You have Titan's blood, you have Silky Damas scales, which Bellows was hunting to extinction. You have the Palisman wood. Now, the only one that we don't know is the stone lungs. I don't think we've seen that creature yet. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We have not.
No. Yeah, we haven't.
But it wouldn't surprise me if that's also a creature that's going extinct or extremely hard to find. I'm trying to think of anything else that would be of worth to talk about from this episode. I mean, this was a great episode, but I still believe that Philip is Bellows. I still believe there's too much of a connection. Also, think about when Bellows took power, right? It was about 50 years ago. 50 or 60, give or take, right? When Bellows took over the Boiling Isles. In what time period in that 50 to 60 years did he go to the human world? Because this Bellows openly says he's been to the human world. So if he isn't Philip, when did he go?
Did you say when he came to the Boiling Isles?
Well, no. I said when Bellows took over the Boiling Isle, the Boiling Isles as the ruler.
It was in the unofficial or in the unauthorized history. It said 50 years ago he took power.
Yeah. So if we're to believe that this Bellows went to the human world with the door, well, guess what? Ida's had the door for at least 40 years, 30 years.
It's
I
been
would
in
say
the
40
family,
30.
right?
Well, Ida found it outside of her house.
Yeah, and she's probably around 12, I would say.
And how old's Ida now? She's in her 30s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Late 30s.
Yeah, almost 40 probably.
Yeah.
So Ida would have had the portal for Bellows would have had to have gone back in time sometime before, either within the 10 years of his rule, and got all that. But then again, it wouldn't explain why he lost the portal. I feel like in order for Bellows to have lost the portal, he would have had to have been in the Boiling Isles for a lot longer than, say, 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Also, I learned this last night. Do you guys know what Bellows actually means? What it translates to? Yeah, it's Greek, and it just means ruler. Bellows' name literally just means ruler, master, or god in some translations. It's a title, not a name. For example, Bellows was a title bestowed upon several Greek kings who supposedly ascended to goddom.
Oh, wait a minute. I looked it up. Apparently it has Semitic roots, one of them being Belu and Baal.
Yeah, Baal
was
was in Greek mythology. Actually, Baal was a king who became a god in Greek mythology.
Yeah,
and it was Canaanites, right? It was the Canaanites, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. So Bellows isn't a name so much as it's like a title. Bellows proclaimed himself as sort of the ruler god of the Boiling Isles. Bellows is in its definition just means ruler or god. So I feel like no one would name their kid Bellows, obviously. That would seem like a weird name to give your kid. It's a title for a hierarchy.
I can't wait to do that.
What, just name your kid Bellows?
Yeah.
Firstborn child.
It's like, son, I'm going to teach you how to rule the Bowling Isles.
So, I guess before we end this off, everyone, what do you want? What do you think we're going to see in the last episode of the season? I'll go ahead and since Ed's voice is hurting, I'll let him start. Ed, what do you think you're going to see in the last episode?
Oh, fuck.
More!
I'm sorry! I don't know. I'm just hoping for at least some of the loose ends to be wrapped up. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect ending.
I don't mean the last episode. By the way, I should specify. I mean the last episode of season 1A.
Oh. Okay.
Which is airing this upcoming weekend.
Wait. How long of a break is there until?
We don't know.
the rest of the season?
We don't know how long the hiatus is yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully a month or two.
Huh. I don't know. More smooth animation and make Tiny Nose and King canon.
Like it's a ship?
Make it the best crack ship there is.
Okay.
Well, it kind-
Well, I
it
just
kind
lost
of-
50 subscribers.
Well, it kind of makes sense because think about it. Alex Hirsch voices King, and Ateris
And-
voices Tiny Nose. There we go.
Okay.
See, actually make a video on this. Instant 50 subscribers back.
Okay, loser, what are you expecting to see?
I just angst.
Angst? Angst and
Angst.
pain? What
And
about...
Hunter?
It's so pain.
More
and
Hunter for you, loser?
And Amity, please.
Bellis, what about you?
I would like. So there is. I don't want to prolong this too much, but there is one more screenshot. Well, there's one screenshot from the trailer, and
There's
one
two.
new one.
There's two
there's two?
screenshots. There's two screenshots from the trailer. Luce laying in the black water and Camilla conspiracy theorying that we
Oh,
haven't
that,
seen
yeah.
yet.
There's also the Luz opening a book.
And the cube.
Yeah,
This is a leak screenshot.
yeah, and the cube.
Yeah.
Those are all things we're supposed to see in the episode. What's the episode title again? Yesterday's Lies, right?
Yeah.
Just like I'm not saying I expect this, but this isn't really something to expect. But this episode, I don't think we're gonna get a laid back episode for the end of the season. I feel like it's gonna definitely be a heavy plot episode.
I mean, judging by how quick the show is going, I would agree.
I mean, according to the synopsis for the next episode, Luce returns home. What was the synopsis, James? It was something about Luce returning home.
Yeah, it was like Luz returns home, but finds out she's in what was it, something?
They were like in for surprising consequences. So it must mean
Yeah,
Luce
yeah.
finds a temporary way home, and then there are some ramifications to it.
Yeah, like she's in for a surprise.
Which makes me wonder, like, I brought this up, I think, last night. Hold on, guys. My headphones are dying. Okay, I brought this up last night. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Yeah, I brought this up last night, but, like, I wonder if Luce is actually going to the human world, or if she's going to the pocket dimension between the Boiling Isles.
Yeah.
And maybe it's going to show her a fake version of her life.
Like something she wanted to have in her life, but it's not real.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe she doesn't make it home. I mean, I've been trying to figure out, how does conspiracy theory Camilla fit into this? Because the last time we saw Camilla, she was pretty chill with, like, Creepy Luce.
Yeah, she was crying with her, as all
Oh.
mothers should.
Yeah, they were watching shows together. I mean,
Yeah.
are we to assume that somehow she figured out that that wasn't the real Luce and murdered it? 'Cause that'd be dark.
Murdered?
That'd be dark. That'd be some dark shit right there.
Dang, bro.
Like Disney.
If she finds out, she'll probably keep it a secret, and then she'll like,
It's
I don't know.
just be like, oh my god,
It's
you
like-
don't like witch lizard.
Oh my god, could you imagine how
terrible?
terrifying? Could you imagine how terrifying that would be, though? Having to keep it a secret from it and living in a house with a thing that is not your daughter.
It's like,
I'm low key getting spooked in my room.
Like-
Just thinking
like-
about that.
Like you're spending
Turn on
you're
the
spending
light.
your time with something and having to pretend like it's the daughter you love, but then meanwhile you're trying to investigate and find her. Which I guess Camilla must have learned something about humans disappearing, because again, in the screenshot of conspiracy theory Camilla, as I call it, she has like a sketch of the key and the portal, and like there's even like paper clippings of the owl lady robbing people.
Low key, like it's literally Among Us.
No.
Oh no,
Oh,
creepy Luce is a sussy little baka.
Oh, no.
no.
Oh my god, I'm gonna leave the call, goddamn.
Oh no.
I had to say it at least once. But yeah,
Or so much.
does anyone else have anything they want to add before we end the stream, guys? Anyone want to shout out the Discord and tell people to join that isn't me?
Hey, you should join and take my spot. That would be great.
Yeah.
don't do it.
Do it.
Tell
I have
people-
free will here. Come join. We have a lot of fun things to do in Garnet's amazing server. Mhm.
We are not being coerced.
No.
Not being paid. Not even a penny. Help
No, we
me.
get paid 1 cent a year. We established that.
Yeah, you get paid in good times and memories. It's like real life
And server history.
and server history. But yeah, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap up this stream because it's been going on for about 30 minutes. But yeah, if you guys want to join the Discord, I'll have a link in the video below. Come meet some of these amazing mods. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this video and talking about the Outhouse with me. Everyone except for Anime who didn't talk. Everyone looked down at Anime.
I forgot he was here. What are you doing?
Man is dead.
But yeah,
Anime.
all right.
you're
Everyone
not
say
talking.
bye to YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Hi,
Bye-bye.
Mom.
And let's